Lord, may this new year be a time of growth for all of us, a time to forgive freely and grow in our relationship with you and with each other. Amen.
Amen. And let's pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You wanted people to know who I was? I don't think anybody knew.
Good morning, welcome everyone. Got a lot to cover today. Starting off with the election of the council board of officers. We have two officer positions on county council, vice president and president. The way the process usually works is that we'll open exception of nominations. We'll make anybody that wants to nominate, someone will start with president position. We'll make a note on any nominations for president. We'll take a vote on them. First majority vote gets a point. Then president will take over and we'll do the same thing for vice president. Okay. So open the floor for nominations for president council.
I nominate Dan Caruso. I think Dan did a fabulous job in our transition last year from us losing Mr. Scheib as our leader. And I think that I feel comfortable in your continued leadership. I second that.
Ruth. Any other nominations for president?
Move the nominations be closed.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. 6. Thank you. Should I?
Don't have to.
Okay, open nominations for vice president council.
I'd like to nominate Christina Kress as vice president. I think just watching from being in meetings and watching what you put in and the effort and work you put in, I think has earned and deserves that.
Eric. Any other nominations for vice president?
Move the nominations be closed.
I will second.
Morning, Mike.
Looks different out here.
Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Here, stay seated where you are.
I would really love to not move. For today or forever. I really like this seat. I don't know about it.
This is a little non-traditional, but vice president used to sit over there. I'm happy to have you. Okay, first up, we have Ashley Brooks with pretrial services. Morning, Ashley.
Good morning. I'm just requesting appropriation of the 2025 Student Health Service Grant funds.
January every year, right?
Yes.
Do fund allocations over the whole thing.
I move to approve all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 additional appropriations.
I'll second.
Lisa? Any comments, questions, further discussion?
The only thing I wanted to say to everybody, I didn't understand this when we first started doing it. And when the grant money comes in, we apply for it, but once it comes in, then we have to put it where they can spend it, because they can't spend it until we put it there. If I ever tell you anything you already know, I'm so sorry. I was lost a lot my first year.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. So, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a great
Good
day.
work. We have circuit court. Hello. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
We have transfer request from administrative assistant bailiff into bailiff.
Yes, we have a change in staff. We took one of the magistrate's staff and brought him upstairs so that she could continue working with small claims. She was paid more than what we had in our budget. So we just need to bring the line item up to speed with that. We did notice one error though. They were transferring into the wrong line item. And they were gonna bring it in the 10302, it should have been the 10800. And the form was filled out for us.
Yeah, it is corrected on the transfer request form.
Yeah,
It's just our agenda is showing different.
I did call and ask them to switch it.
We do have a change on the paperwork for you.
Okay, cool.
Okay, any questions?
I'm so happy she came upstairs. That will really, really help that process continue to move forward. She had so much experience.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer.
I will second it.
So Christina. Any further comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Seven. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well. Nikki. Morning.
Morning. So I have quite a few things on here. Mostly it's housekeeping. I don't know if you want me to go line by line and explain. I know I've got 30 numbers and we're kind of complicated when it comes to wages and all the different funds.
Let's take them one at a time.
So the first category is with the county general. 9158 for deputy prosecutor wages. That is to keep his annual wage amount the same. He did not receive an increase, but not enough money was appropriated to pay him what the 2025 wage amount should be. The next one is IVD, which is 4D child support. Court coordinator wages, she was categorized incorrectly. We worked with HR and Wagon, Irwin, Shealy, WIS, whatever that is, to get that corrected. And the office manager wages were short 84 cents to meet the actual 2025 budget amount. Want me to stop there since that's county general?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all been corrected. With
Yep,
but-
we're good.
Okay. So let's take these one at a time.
Approved.
Okay, Ruth.
I'll second.
Eric. That's for the three in general.
Was that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Seven. Thank you.
Okay, the next category is Fund 2511. That is pretrial diversion funds for the prosecutor's office. An increase in 43 cents for victim assistance to meet the 2025 wage amount. And FICA and PERF, somehow through the budget process, I think maybe somebody didn't realize that our grant funds, our grant wages, the FICA comes out of our pretrial diversion fund because we don't budget for anything except wages within the grants. So Social Security, Medicare, PERF, everything comes out of our pretrial diversion fund. Okay.
So they don't allow you to use the grant that way, or is that just how we've always structured it?
We've just always structured it that way.
Thank you, I was just curious.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely good. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay.
The last two items, I'll kind of combine them a little bit because we have a STOP grant, which is a domestic violence grant that pays for one of our deputy prosecutor wages. Our grant cycle does not run along with annual budgets. So we received less money than we requested. So to bring our STOP grant deputy up to what the 2025 wage amount is, we have to increase the 2511 and the county general. We split those funds. You take the grant amount and then split the rest between the two funds. So the first one is 2511 pretrial diversion, and the second one is county general, equal amounts.
Thank you for being kind to us.
Yeah.
So $2,625. Okay. Motion on that.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that.
Any comments, questions? The question, why was it less than you anticipated?
We're lucky to even be getting the grant based on the emails they send out prior to grant applications being out there. That they have reduced funding to the ICJI is who we get our grants through. So the feds have reduced it to the state level, and then it kind of trickles down.
So it wasn't a process and how the grant was written?
No, we've written the same grant for probably 25 years, close to that anyway.
Do you think it'll decrease again? No way to tell?
There is absolutely no way to tell. You jump through a lot of hoops to get grant money, and ICJI has really been difficult to deal with, I will say, on the reporting side of things. I mean, I've been reporting over there for 10 years, writing the same grant for 10 years, and I never get a report that isn't kicked back because they want something worded a little different, maybe 2 different words. I mean, it's very difficult to keep them happy. So we're lucky with what we get, is what I'll say.
What was the acronym you used?
ICJI is Indiana Criminal Justice Institute. They get the money from CJI, Criminal Justice Institute.
There's just so many acronyms.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Oh.
Thank you.
Yep. Morning.
Morning. Here, the request approval to go after Community Crossings Matching Grant 2025-1 First Call Projects. With your approval, commissioners approved it at the last commissioners meeting to go after the grant. I need your guys' approval on that. It's approved, I need Mr. Caruso to sign a financial commitment letter. We budgeted for the match for this. We know they're going to make the call, so we budgeted for the match. Typically, the program is for up to $1 million in award. This year, they went up to 1.5 million. So we went after all percent of 1.5 million. And we just took the additional match out of our road construction line item. So we have a CCMG match line item, and we have a road construction line item side by side, both acceptable uses. So
The match amount is just over a third instead of half.
because get the work out to get the whole max, I have to exceed 1.5. That's my 75%. So the road that goes next on this, it's actually like a 74-26 split.
That's the max that we'll need, the 535.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. And we've had pretty good success with that in the past.
I know there's talk about changing community crossings at the state level, but it sounds like we're in a pretty good position because it's going to be tied to whether or not you have an excise tax, whether or not you're using it to be able, they're talking about that, making that a piece that you can't be eligible for community crossings unless you have done those things at a local level. So thank you to the prior board for having the forethought to do what was, did I call it excise? wheel tax, I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. But thank you to the members that were here before that did that. I know it isn't easy, but it sounds like it'll help keep us in highway funding.
Yeah. So historically, the state has touted that it's, got budget surplus and it's doing so well and all this stuff. But road funding was one of the big ones that they just pushed a lot of that responsibility and cost down to the county level, and then they kind of had a gun at your head saying, if you don't pass this wheel tax surtax, then you're not eligible for all this other funds. And so we had to go through that process to keep our roads in the shape we expect them to be. More of that. Oh, that'll never end. It'll just keep down the pipeline, courts and everything else. Anyway, I'd open for a motion.
I'll second it.
Any other comments, questions on community crossings?
Thank you for all the additionals.
You're a beast, thank you.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Stay.
Which one?
The actual.
You have the letter.
Thank you. Next up, we have Jason with the striker funding discussion. Good morning. Good morning.
It's been so long.
Good to see you 2 months.
We miss you.
Yeah. So this is really just an update for you, where we're at in the process here. An electronic copy was sent to Will's email address. He signed the DocuSign for Stryker. Same price as we talked about in the past. I guess my question is moving forward. Initially, we have a auto ship delayed date all the way till May 19th to allow you to figure out funding between time the document was signed and the May 19th. When we left 2024, you agreed to the purchase. You didn't know where it was coming from. I believe there's some kind of restriction with Kelly having to advertise it. So I didn't want to wait until March or April before I brought this back to you guys. So it's approved, it's signed, it just needs funding wherever you guys decide that's coming from. And then once you make that decision and figure out where that comes from, I can move the ship date up. I push it as far back as possible, give you guys the funding.
We have to decide today, but we've got to decide pretty soon.
Yep.
And well, we bounced around a few ideas then.
Yeah, I think probably the most appropriate place based on your current. Wait a minute, I almost put my counsel out.
No, you're good.
I think probably the most appropriate place at this point in time is Cube Cap. It's a capital expenditure. However, based on our discussions yesterday, it may come from other sources.
So for those of you that are new, there's a few different line items when we have projects like this. We've been utilizing our funds for some special request stuff. Usually when you have a major capital purchase like this, it comes out of Cume Cap, which gets that revenue steadily year round, but it's also it's got a lot of projects in the queue, right? That the commissioners are always, so they manage that. It's a rolling budget, right? Your plan for that is a rolling plan. And so it's really something that we don't just automatically assume take it out of there. We're working hand in hand with the commissioners on what their priorities and needs are. There's a couple other funds we could use, but it seems most appropriate. And it's now that we're past the Judicial Center project, we're kind of trying to protect some Cume Cap money there, not knowing what unknowns we might have. But so we can absorb this a little bit, or we can move forward with the fund.
Will it change your service contract line item too with the new equipment, or is that all going to stay the same?
Service contracts built into this price for no interest for, no interest for 4 years. So it's a 10-year total service.
Okay, so,
Change what's
so we'll not change what's in here, but the service contract is going to be part of it. And can that come out of QCAP too?
Realistically, we might be able to decrease my service line item moving forward once we get everything else calculated for, because we're not planning on spending service contract fees for monitors moving forward because they're already in this contract.
And this is just monitors. This
Just
is
monitors.
monitors,
Yeah.
and it is for 5.
Fund balances. There's a few funds that when you get your monthly, the comparison report, I think is a little easier for us in council than the financial statement. There's a few funds we pay pretty close attention to every month and how they're tracking, besides general. QCAP is one of them, Fund 1138. If you see that kind of that narrow fund column there on the first page.
It's our normal, and what do we normally annually take in QCAP in a year? Revenue wise?
Over $1 million. On 4.
We have Ian. $1.4 roughly. Is that what Will said? I figured he was right.
At my age, I could remember some things.
You remember a lot when it comes to numbers. You're way better with numbers in your head. And there's.
Motion.
Sure.
I'll make a motion that the 84,000, whatever per year come from QCAP.
Okay. And I will second that.
Good.
Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Order. Yep, thank you.
I want to get with that because we'll have to make sure that we do it in the next. No, I just have to put additional. The exact dollar amount, it's gonna be the total amount. All years. Sure, budget 42. Yeah, I just wanted to make some extra budgeting. Or and I'll get the exact dollar amount from.
Hey, Brett. Morning. Explain all this.
Yeah, basically, this puts the community corrections budget in line with what was approved by DOC in the format that payroll person wants to see it. So a lot of numbers moving around. I've never filled out this many sheets before.
I've never seen this many sheets before.
We have him at a really good place right now.
Part of the issue is that I submit my budget to the Department of Corrections the first time in April. And then I submit it to the county council in June. And then I find out what the DOC wants me to do in August or September. And then I do that and submit it then. So, yeah.
A lot of paper stuff.
So why are the title changes though, like on the decrease increase?
Title changes?
Well, like you got sergeant, corporal, and moving into administrative assistant and bookkeeper.
Oh, I had a ginormous Excel spreadsheet and I just started moving bits and pieces where they needed to go. Basically, some positions are paid out of the grant fund and then some are paid out of the project income fund. So I've got two sergeants. So one sergeant's going to be paid out of grant, the other sergeant's going to be paid out of project income. Same thing with corporals. And anybody in a leadership position, I tried to pay out of the grant fund. You want to spend the grant monies down to zero every year. And I tried to pick the positions that were most likely to continue the entire year. For instance, bookkeeper, we need a bookkeeper, don't have a bookkeeper. I took that out of project income because starting off the year, we don't have one, so we're not going to spend any money. With the project income fund, any money we don't spend just goes, it just stays there year round. So.
Still makes no sense to me. Yes.
Okay,
Alia.
I think he's answering a different question. So he does have the jobs lined up with the right titles. He answered a question based on why he moved them from different funds. You're talking about the job titles that go with the line items.
Yes.
They do actually match. I went through and cross-checked it all, which took quite a while. But the reason there's so many changes is because he originally had pretty much all of them being paid out of two funds, and he moved them so each person is only being paid out of one. And so just the way he switched the paperwork, it looks much worse than it is. But when you look on the exhibit, you'll see it does match and line up. And there's a white folder that says NICC up there.
Yeah.
Don't know how helpful that will be, but like what I did with that, and I have copies in there, I went through and cross-checked all the transfers, and the numbers add up. It's just kind of confusing to get there, but.
So you call the same position two different things depending on which.
It's the same position, but it's just like there's sergeants in both funds, there's corporals in both funds, there's confinement, whatever they're called, in both funds. It's just some of them he's taken from one fund, some he's taken from the other. But the job descriptions do match the line items that he has. It's kind of confusing, but.
And we think we have is paying them out of one fund now versus two.
Okay,
Which makes Tracy's life easier.
100 times easier.
that's a good thing.
Yes.
Yes, right, that's our,
Yeah.
that we're trying to do that, make life easier on our.
So let's leave the additional appropriation request alone for right now. Handle these transfers. Yeah, except I want to, so Ruth, let's take them down to everything except the last transfer.
Yeah, that was my intent.
Okay.
I move to approve transfers on the 37,442.90, the 22,472.23, the 66,263.14, the 26,082.60, the 17,287, the 90,383.25, the 65,419.58, the 56,880, and 35,160.86.
All done. Bill? Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. 7. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna jump around. We're gonna finish the fund transfer request, part-time to insurance. You can talk about that one separate.
We ran into an issue. This is also something that Tracy wants. To not have any part-time coming out of the grant fund. So I just moved it to insurance. And the reason for that is that when you expend that down and you get to the last $6 or $7, she needs to key in an amount per hour. Well, that never balances. So what we had to do last year was spend more than what was in the line item and then do a transfer to move money into that. So you eliminate that entire problem if you just don't have part-time in the grant fund. So it's all completely in the project income fund.
Okay. That makes sense to everybody?
You spend a grant to zero and you can't do that to zero payroll. Because you never know how it's gonna work out.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, I will motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second.
Any further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. 7. All right, Brett, then back up to the additional appropriation request for case management.
Okay. That is to get the budget to where it needs to be for what I submitted because the case managers all have one pool now. That's also something that changed after I had submitted my original budget. Because there's a new financial system that came in. So they all, the 4 case managers all share one line item. And this is in private safety fund.
1122.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
And will that additional appropriation take that bottom line in 1122? Will we be surpassing what we bring in that in a year? No. Oh, so we're still under the amount of the income, so it shouldn't affect any of the cash balance.
Okay. Eric?
Second.
Bill? Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand.
That's the wrong hand.
I don't know what left hand up means. Are you in favor or not?
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, Brett.
Yep.
Flip all these pages.
Based on the motion.
Yeah. Good morning, Aaron.
Hi.
Just one, but no.
Where? You take the microphone down just a little so I can see your eyes. It like hits right in the.
Yes, yeah. Okay, Aaron, can we have your update on PD audits?
As promised, here I am updating you on a monthly basis regarding the public defender office and all the steps that we are taking moving forward. So we did have a resignation of one of the public defenders that was heavily involved in the program. We are working to get that position filled. I am working with the public defender board regarding that. I do have, I want to say, 4 potential leads for filling the empty position as well. So we are working on that. The position has also been posted online according to the county's policy and in other areas as well. I spoke at the last commissioners meeting. I did get approval to move forward with the job descriptions for the public defender office. So I received information from the state on the chief public defender position. That information has been sent to Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy to kind of put it in their format. I also let them know that we need a couple of positions created for paralegals and then a receptionist as well. So they are working on that, so that ball is rolling. The commissioners have also given me approval to work with Austin Keck, the facility superintendent, to move forward with potential renovations of the old prosecutor's office for the public defender office. Austin, Jim Hansen, and myself, we did meet once. We do have plans drawn up, and I have spoken to Austin this morning via email, and we plan on meeting again sometime this week to kind of further those conversations and talk about contractors start getting quotes around. The state report on budget and expenditures was submitted last night. The fourth quarter report reimbursement request is almost completed, so I'm working on that. Our numbers actually look really good right now. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that continues. The misdemeanor pilot program, the application was submitted by Jim Hansen on December 6th. I haven't yet heard back from the state. They said that they would be reaching out to counties that did submit their applications sometime in January. But again, I haven't heard anything. So I am tracking the misdemeanor cases according to the information that they have requested. So that stuff is available for them to review. And other than that, I think that's about it.
Thank you. I have 2 questions.
Yes.
So Jim was doing some work on financially reorganizing to make the transition. Did he leave you with all of that?
So the transition plan essentially took 2 public defender positions and rolled it into one. Right now, we don't have a managing public defender. So at this point in time, I cannot see how that is going to be feasible until I meet with the board and figure out how we're going to proceed with all of that. Right now, we still have 9 of the 10 public defender contracts in full force and effect. Those do have a 30-day termination clause in them, but we have not, I can't unilaterally act without the board giving me direction either. So we are going to be having discussions soon.
Okay. And obviously, it's a process to get rolling if we do get approved for the misdemeanor pilot program. Just wondering how much heads up time they're gonna give us.
Well, the pilot program doesn't start technically until later in the year. So I have started compiling all the information. I created spreadsheets with all the different documentation that they were requesting on the misdemeanors, both open and closed. So when all the public defenders report to me on a monthly basis, I take all of their case counts and I throw them into that spreadsheet, and then I look up the cases on my case to get that information that they need. I will tell you it takes a lot of time because that is also being done in addition to looking at every single case that every public defender is appointed, just to ensure that case counts are being appropriately counted. That way our reimbursement request is as accurate as we can get it. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We're working on it. But again, we need to get the appropriate approvals and everything in place before we can do final action.
So for the new council members, are you all familiar with this, what we're looking at doing, this public defender office?
But we're not fully committed, right? It's still with the contingency that we get approved. Correct? I missed the December meeting. I listened to it, but it was is that correct? We have not officially funded or done anything.
Right. Our statement is that if we get awarded that we have ourselves positioned to fund it.
Keep in mind all the increased costs that come with the chief public defender, all the renovation costs, all the utilities, we break it out square footage wise, everything, all of that would be rolled into the reimbursement request at a 40% reimbursement. But if we were not afforded the opportunity to be in the misdemeanor pilot, then yes, that would cause some issues with regards to the reimbursables.
We previous council pretty much stated that we didn't see how we could move forward without making that program. If we were to be granted that, we were committing to the funds to do it.
Continue updating you on a monthly basis. And in the meantime, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Yeah, thanks.
We had sort of about that at a 6-month. Sooner than. Right. What?
Nothing.
All right. Kelly?
Yep. So I may have to use Leah, because Leah worked on all these for us. But this is just cleanup on several of the lines. Making sure we have the exact dollar amount in the line that it needed to be for payroll. We had one confinement officer, or the sheriff's department had one confinement officer that was listed at a lower salary or at a higher salary. Is that how we had that?
Yeah, confinements, yep, listed higher.
Yep, it was listed higher, it needed to be lower. And then we had one corporal that was listed lower that needed to be higher. So 2 officers in the confinement officer line are mostly civil transport, so their annual salary will be less than what was appropriated. And then an additional 2573.88 is needed in the corporal line. We consolidated.
If I want to take these one at a time. The surveyors.
Oh, wait, okay.
That's just as it's on.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I just went by what was on here. Disregard everything I just said.
No, that'll apply to the next one.
I flipped it upside down right here. Okay. So this got decided officially after we had already budgeted. So we just need to do an additional appropriation to get the amount of funds into the correct line item for the increase or the stipend for maintaining the regulated tiles and drains and corner markers for the surveyor's office, for the surveyor that was agreed upon.
So this is the additional from what was already voted on in the past week.
It wasn't advertised way back. So now we have to do it as an additional.
I'm going to do everything in my power to make this.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're transferring it. It's not an additional. Thanks, Ann.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, from the perpetuation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yep.
Motion?
Yep.
Move to approve.
Second.
Eric?
Yep.
Who was first?
Any further comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand.
Coming together.
5. Right.
5-2.
Yep.
Christina, Dan?
Yep. Okay, so back to the confinement officer, Corporal 257388. That was previously explained.
This is also a transfer, not a additional.
Any further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. 7. Some snow coming down out there.
Sorry. Thank you, I apologize. My brain was elsewhere.
Okay, so the next one is an additional. This is overtime at Steuben continuing education. Some back, stop. Not
This
sufficient funds advertised.
advertised, it was for advertising, yeah. So we advertised lower than what was approved, so we just. We advertised the correct amount for funding.
But it's not changing what we approved.
No, it is not changing anything that was approved. It was just for advertising.
And I don't have to get, I don't have to get it out.
Is that the same with the next two additions? For those advertising?
Let's see. Actually, well, for this one. Yeah, no, they're small.
Oh, now let's take them separately because this is, okay. All right, so on the advertising of the overtime in Steuben, 1235. Welcome motion.
I will second.
Christina. Any further comments?
It's not changing what's in the budget book.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, the additional FICA and PERF, 8897, which is Title 4D incentive fund. There was an advertising as well.
Yes.
Welcome motion for that.
Make a motion.
Lisa.
Second.
Renee. Okay, any further comments or questions? None, all those in favor, raise your right hand. 7. And the additional on probation. Certifications earned was not calculated into the adopted with study wage. Yep, there's 3 of them.
Yes.
So these cash balance is very healthy.
This one will change.
Yeah.
Our budget.
This is adding to.
She has one other one too that'll come up later, but he hasn't earned his certification yet, so. Pam said she'd come back around once he receives that certification.
So what was the timing on this? As opposed to why it didn't get an earn? Just newly achieved certifications?
No,
Just
no,
missed?
they're just some that were missed. I didn't have.
Take all 3 of those together.
I'll move to approve the request for transfer for the probation officers. Let me read the fund, the
Just 2517.
2517.
I'll second.
Any further comments or questions? Maybe raise your right hand. 7. Interfund transfer request. 701. It's the fund number that SBOA wanted changed. So this is just moving funds into a different line item.
One drainage to another drainage.
Yeah.
Statutorily, 2,700 is the correct one, and for whatever reason, we have just always used 2,701, which is,
SBOA wants to do it.
yes, they did.
Okay, make a motion to approve.
All right.
I'll second that.
Comments? All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7. Okay. So then here to. Everybody good or need a break? Before we go into other business?
Good.
Keep rolling? Good.
All right.
I'll let you tee these up, Kelly, what we're doing here, these
Okay.
ordinances.
So anytime you have additional appropriations, we do have to have that, a resolution that I have to upload into Gateway. Now, we did a lot more moving around and stuff than what it probably looks like is on here. However, Leah went through, and so anything that was in more than one, like general, it's been lumped together. So that's why your numbers are gonna look different on here than what you actually approved. I promise you that she double and triple checked all the numbers to make sure
So
they
the
were correct.
1,000
Said that
is
just for me, Kelly.
lumped together.
Yeah. Yep,
$4,128.29 is a combination
of,
of
yes,
general.
yep. Whether we are adding or subtracting, it's the total amount that we need.
So at every meeting, whenever we do additionals, we have to pass a resolution for those additionals from that meeting.
Typically, they will match up exactly. We combine them this time. So I may get my hand slapped by state board, I may not, I don't know. We'll find out. But that's what this is, so I need approval on this. This is everything that you guys just approved for additionals.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Lisa?
Second.
Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. 7.
And then everybody will have to sign this also, so I'll pass them down as we go.
I get my Shipe well drawing pen out for this next slate of papers. It flows better.
It's twitching because we don't sign anything original in our office unless it's blue ink. A black pen.
Christine?
You have a blue pen?
I do.
Thank you. It's just a great way to know that it's an
Hopefully,
original
try it.
signature. Thank you.
That was
Thank you.
it. Yep.
All right. So we
There
have
we go.
several amending ordinances to our salary ordinance.
These do line up with everything you guys just approved. So the first one being, what is it? Prosecutor's office. Ordinances do require 2 readings, so on every single one of these, you guys I'm assuming you'll pass them right now. So you'll have to make a motion, then you'll have to
Suspend the rules.
suspend. Yeah, on every single one of these.
So it can reflect in payroll right away, right? That's right.
Yeah, if you wait, it's gonna take, it won't be reflected until after your February meeting.
I would be happy to read through all of these individually if you so like.
We really want to hear you.
I'm froggy today anyway. So this would be really good.
Do you want to just read the ordinance number?
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Okay, and then I would tell you,
So
I was gonna say you could probably jump.
To the amount.
Yeah,
Okay. And these are really small print.
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
that's
oh.
fine. No.
My original is bigger if you want to read
No,
off
I'm
the
good.
base.
I can see.
Okay. Do you
Alright.
want to do them?
Ruth, you have a question?
No, I was just gonna say, are you ready for a motion?
So
And my motion would be specifying each of the ordinance numbers, the 1, 2, 3. So. Or do you need dollar figures on each of them?
let's say the dollar amount on each one. Yep. So ordinance 1029 for 80,886.
And then I would need to approve ordinance number 1030 for 44,000.
We're gonna take them.
Oh, you want to do them each one at a time? Oh, okay,
You think, Billy?
I think you should do them one at a time.
okay.
Mr. Chite? Commissioner? Do you recommend we take these one at a time?
I'm staying in my lane.
One at a time, great.
All right, okay, so let's do them.
129 for 680,886.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor.
I'll make it.
Bill? Those in favor, raise your right hand.
Sorry, it's when I'm writing.
You need me to put on your shoe?
No, it's just when I'm writing that I just want to use the free hand.
All right, so we got 7-0. Suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Eric?
I'll second.
Lisa? All in favor of suspending the rules, raise your right hand. No. Second and third reading. Motion,
I'll make that motion.
Stephen,
Second.
Eric. Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. 7. All right. 1 up, 7 down.
Jeez.
What a roll.
Ordinance 10, let's wait. Pass them. Okay.
Yep, I'm just looking over right here.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
So are you ready for a motion?
For ordinance 1030, and this is,
41,906.
it says,
What's the one down below?
it's got
44,
It would have been
632.
listed as 44.
the column A and the column B in the same ordinance.
Yes.
44, 62, 77.
Yep.
44, 77. It's part of my motion.
Okay. Have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 1030.
I'll second our motion.
Thank you. All those in favor of suspending the rules, raise your right hand. 7. You're pretty good on that, right? You can raise your vote back.
I know. I make a motion on second and third reading for ordinance 1030.
I'll second.
Eric? All those in favor of second and third reading?
Yeah.
7-0. You. Prosecutor's Office 1031, which has a lot of adjustments on there.
Oh,
Yeah,
my heavens.
you don't need to read through all that. Total combined appropriated funding for the above listed appropriation numbers of $80,886. $80,886.
Thank you. I know, but that's the tough one. Are we doing, is it the same? Oh, because it was all one amount. I was doing them separate. Why did we write that down for the first one?
I don't know why you added those two up.
It was said out loud. I just said what was said out loud. I just wrote down what was said out loud. You were Nick, did you
I
agree
wrote the
with me?
same number down.
Okay. I didn't do any math. You told me not to do math. I'm just Let's see.
Oh, yeah, how's it?
I'm looking. Because some of them are just to put it in the right line item. I might need Leah. Okay, so the first one was for the 80,000 for the salary.
First one should be 86,000 total, not 88.
Not 80. So I don't, where do you see 86 on that one?
Yeah.
41,909.40 and 46,000.
Which one are you looking at?
Okay, on ordinance 1030,
We already did that.
we're going back to, because you said you had written that by 1030.
Oh, I wrote it by 1029.
Right.
On 10.9 has that number and also has other.
But on 1029, it's not, we wrote the top, is it supposed to be the 80,977.57? Is that what it should have been?
Yes.
Yes, that's been corrected to reflect the versions of 80, 977 and 57.
Yeah, because you wrote what it was listed as, and then there's the correction underneath. So that's.
It's,
Okay. So I'm good. So on 1031, welcome motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1031 for the amount of $80,886.
I'll second that. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Suspend rules.
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll second.
All in favor of suspending the rules, raise your right hand. Be a lot easier for the minutes if everybody did the same.
Sure it would.
That's not gonna happen. I make a motion for the second and third reading.
You.
Sorry, Ruth.
No, that's okay. I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. 1032. This is on ICC.
That's what I see.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1032 in the amount of $41,909.40.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. You.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 1032.
You. All in favor of suspending? 7-0. We're gonna have nice strong shoulders.
Motion for ordinance 1032, second and third readings.
Ruth?
I will second it.
Christina? All in favor? Gene?
They could work out on that, Rachel. Look at
Yeah, that was my last one to look at.
That was your classification.
This is reclassification.
So,
do you?
oh, there it is.
There you go.
Thank you.
You want me to read that?
I didn't know if you wanted to read that one.
So I'm gonna read that.
Well, you just passed this 1032 because this does not have it does have a dollar amount on it, but this is a reclassification of positions for the assessor's office. So he's gonna go ahead and read that out loud. You have in your packet, yeah, there is supporting documentation from the assessor where she had 2 employees listed as COMA Bs and they should have been listed as COMA As. So no, they're not taking a salary decrease over. Their salary is going to go down, but they are receiving an increase based on where they were at originally, as per the Wagon and Irwin Shealy study. So they're getting a raise, but not as high as what they would have been considered a COMA B.
Which makes sense if you're a COMA A.
Yeah, and she had asked for this to be done. So the supporting documentation is there, as well as Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy's letter to reclassify.
I don't think I have the ordinance.
Yeah, that's the
That's-
1032 we just.
It's the one you just did.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get to it quick enough. I was still writing instead of looking to see where we were at.
See, I'm not the only one that likes to take time to write.
So we had all that in the packet, but I just think we should read it.
Oh, okay.
So ordinance, amending ordinance 1024. Amending the 2025 salary ordinance, whereas Steuben County Council approved its 2025 wages by passing the 2025 salary ordinance number 1024 on December 10th, 2024. And whereas the 2025 salary ordinance includes the following positions in the assessor's office. One assessor listed as an EO position, one first deputy listed as SO chief deputy position, two second deputies listed as Coma B positions, and one deputy assessor listed as a Coma B position. Whereas Steuben County Assessor has requested there be a differential between the levels of deputy position in the assessor's office, whereas upon further evaluation of the job duties of all employees in the assessor's office, a reclassification request was submitted to Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy Associates Incorporated. Whereas upon reclassification by Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy Associates Incorporated, the assessor's office positions were changed to the following: one assessor listed as an EO, one first deputy listed as an SO chief deputy position, one second deputy listed as a Coma B position, and two deputies listed as Coma A positions. Whereas per the 2025 salary ordinance, the annual salary for the reclassification positions in the assessor's office for the Coma A position is $41,909.40. Now therefore be it ordained that the assessor's office shall consist of the following positions: one assessor listed as an EO position, one first deputy listed as an SO chief deputy position, one second deputy listed as a Coma B position, and two deputies listed as Coma A positions. Okay.
Yep. You didn't
Adopted.
stutter or anything, did you?
All right.
Now let me look and see where we're at. Make sure you don't have to read it.
It was tiny.
10:33.
I could,
So our assessor caught that herself.
So 10:33 is going to be my corrections.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
And then you have your exhibit A on NICC employees. And this is that discussion we had about getting it to line for payroll. Okay. So I welcome a motion on 10:33.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Dean and Lisa, you, all those in favor, raise your right hand.
Is this for 10:33?
Yes. Yep, 7.
Your right hand, yes.
Yeah, just a couple.
It's okay.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 10:33.
second.
Eric gotcha.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion for second, third reading.
I'll make a motion for the second and third reading of ordinance number 1033.
Lisa.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. So. Here we go. 1034 probation.
Yes. You can read it if you want, but it is redoing all of those line items again, what you approved with their $1,500. What word am I looking for?
So there's no total on this, it's just a total each individual
For their
one.
certifications, their certification pay. But I went through and listed every single line on here. Let's see what would be a good one for you too,
It's got adjustments here.
because we had several. So you can read the whole thing if you want, or it was, do you want to go back and
Yeah.
look at her?
Certification pay levels.
I didn't either.
The assessor.
Lena, I'm not sure You got a second
I just don't have a copy of,
in front of you?
yeah, do you want me to come up there or?
Yeah.
Yes,
On top of what was already.
yes. And we had already did. Now it has to be changed.
Because the only addition to it is case.
It feels like stuff comes.
There's
when
only
once, right?
actually, it's confusing because she moved funding,
It has to do with.
so,
Okay.
Hey, Christina, she's gonna explain.
I'm sorry, I was
No.
explaining why we were seeing it again.
it's,
Okay, no, that makes sense.
okay. So the first two lines of the ordinance are the introduction. The next two lines are one salary change. The next two lines are removing the next line, sorry, is removing the $500 bonus that person got because on the original budget, they weren't getting a pay increase. So we gave them $500.
Oh,
So I included that in the ordinance that we were removing that.
okay.
The next two lines are one person. So whenever it says and, the next line after and is basically, that's actually one sentence in the ordinance. So the first part is saying the problem, the second part is saying what it should have been.
Why is one getting an increase?
So this person should have got $3,000 more for their certification. So that's why the first line is $14,389 and the next line is $17,313. It's a little off the exact $3,000 amount, but that's what it is for. But there was a few dollars extra in one of the funds, so we didn't have to raise it the full $3,000. Okay, so that person should have got an additional $3,000, and so once they get that, they lose that $500 bonus. Then you go to the next person, they were listed at $52,221, and their gross salary should have been $47,000. What happens there is they're not actually losing money because if you go to the next line, it's the same person. So the next line is $25,17, and they were at $44,06. It says should have been listed at $10,365. Those two are one person. So they're actually getting a pay increase. We're just moving the funding, so more of it's coming from $25,17. So that's why there's an additional appropriation for $25,17.
Okay, so the total's the bottom four.
So yeah, so where it says now therefore be it ordained, underneath there is the actual changes. So before the now therefore be it ordained, these are the problems and the changes that need to be corrected. Underneath, we're saying we are ordaining this is to be the correct thing.
Yep, okay.
So those are the changes. It's kind of confusing, but they match with the salary schedule. Essentially, the probation officer, Pam, she actually just took the extra money she needed for the pay raises from her other fund. So it actually doesn't really cost us more money, the fund, the general fund or whatever the fund is.
General fund.
Yeah. That dollar amount, that's why the increases are all from 2517 because she's taking it from her grant funding. So it's not a bad thing. It was just.
No, it's not bad, but I have one question. And I know that you at budget time did a really, really amazing job of making sure that nobody was taking their funds above what they were bringing their income in. Is this going to affect that in hers? Is her now going to?
Yeah, no,
She'll still be
We won't do
underneath
that.
that income, so we'll not touch that cash balance. at all.
no.
Correct. Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
All right, we're gonna read this one.
Okay.
That's why we elected you. We like your voice so much.
Oh, right, yeah. You might have a face for radio.
I will tell you that Leah did an amazing job and I was so confused when we were reading through these, but she really did double and triple check everything and tried to put it on here the least confusing way possible, but in some instances it wasn't possible.
I was just looking for that number that we had done on the front within there and,
And it wasn't gonna be there
well, it did match up down here. Yeah.
at the bottom.
Okay. Ordinance 1034, amending ordinance 1024. An ordinance amending the 2025 salary ordinance. Whereas Steuben County Council approved its 2025 wages by passing the 2025 salary ordinance number 1024 on December 10th, 2024. And whereas the salary ordinance Exhibit A in ordinance 1024 included the following information: appropriation number, job title, job classification, and gross salary. And whereas appropriation number 2517.10192. A bunch of zeros. Probation officer for the Steuben County Probation Department listed the gross annual salary as $14,389.74. And whereas the gross annual salary for this position should have been listed as $17,313.29 for the year 2025. Whereas the probation officer with appropriation number 2517.10192.0 is not eligible for a one-time $500 employee appreciation bonus in 2025 due to the increase in the listed gross annual salary for the year 2025. Whereas appropriation number 1000.113.50.0235, probation officer for the Steuben County Probation Department listed gross annual salary as $52,221.34. And whereas the gross annual salary for this position should have been listed as $47,762.13 for the year 2025. Whereas appropriation number 2517.10117.50.40 probation officer for the Steuben County Probation Department listed gross annual salary as $4,406.66. And whereas the gross annual salary for this position should have been listed as $10,365.87 for the year 2025. Whereas appropriation number 2517.10119.50.40 is probation officer for the Steuben County Probation Department listed the gross annual salary as $516.20. And whereas the gross annual salary for this position should have been listed as $2,016.20 for the year 2025. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Steuben County Council, the gross annual salary for the probation officer's position in the Steuben County Probation Department appropriation number 2517.10192.50.40 has been corrected to reflect the gross annual salary of $17,313.29 for the year 2025. The gross annual salary for the probation officer's position in the Steuben County Probation Department appropriation number 1000.10113.50.0235 has been corrected to reflect the gross annual salary of $47,762.13 for the year 2025. The gross annual salary for the probation officer's position in the Steuben County Probation Department appropriation number 2517.10117.50.40 has been corrected to reflect the gross annual salary of $10,365.87 for the year 2025. The gross annual salary for the probation officer's position in the Steuben County Probation Department appropriation number 2517.10119.50.40 has been corrected to reflect a gross annual salary of $2,016.20 for the year 2025. Be it further ordained, the probation officer with appropriation number 2517.192.50.40 in the Steuben County Probation Department is not eligible for a one-time employee appreciation bonus in 2025, ordained this 14th day of January. I get through books quickly. Sorry you all had to endure all that. Okay.
Motion to approve ordinance 1034 in the amount of $77,457.49.
Thank you, Eric.
I will second that.
Christina. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0.
To suspend the rules.
Ruth?
I'll second.
Lisa? All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0.
I'll make a motion for the second and third reading of ordinance 1034.
Christina?
Second.
Bill? All in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0.
Let's see.
This is the jail.
You want her to explain this one too?
Oh, this is the civil transport.
Yes.
We discussed this earlier when we passed it.
That's one for 51.
Petitions had the incorrect pay because they were civil transport. So, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Make a motion to suspend the rules for ordinance number 1035.
Second that.
Favor, raise your right hand.
Make a motion to approve the second and third reading of 1035.
I will second.
Those in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0. That's all.
Question. Thank you.
Okay. Good job getting it straightened out, ladies. All right. I think we take a quick break before we get into liaisons. That's usually the big discussion. Okay. Come back at 10:30. Thank you. It's on. At 10:30.
Thank you.
You guys want to go through, and handle the rest of other business and then come back to appointments and?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have your, December monthly financial comparison reports. Thank you. And there's a short list of fund numbers that we kind of track pretty hard monthly. For those of you that do, QCAP's one of them, 1138. Watching highway with local road and street, and that's 1169 and 1176 motor vehicle highway. As the wheel tax surtax money comes in, we like to have the money before the highway is spending the money on projects. We actually try to have a year in advance on that. So we always watch those balances, especially as he runs into projects. And in our Peters Municipal Consultants packet that we got this year, we made special note of the rate of expenditure of the highway. If we got that base of expenditure, we were going to run out of funds. So those are two important ones to keep a look at. Major Boots Construction 1172 still sits out there. That's commissioner control budget. That's a budget that has few loans, so it gets replenished, and they tend to just use it for projects where they can help a request along that has a repayment source. So that usually kind of keeps beaver focused.
Are we still, is the major moves where we paid for the piers, is that where the pier money is still going back into? So that's another thing to watch for in that.
Is that also where we did the Lake George?
Lake George, yep, the railroad,
Ashley, Town of Ashley.
town of Ashley, yeah.
Railroad's been paid back. That was done.
Yeah, that was a great situation there.
We, I think, we have another one. Don't we have the, fire department, Salem?
Salem, and that's paid back, didn't it?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So we've done several. Okay, there.
Next page, top of next page, 1186, you see the rainy day fund. So that got the funds moved in from the end of the year.
We moved, not as much as we could have, less than last year. So hopefully you guys are okay with 500,000 on that.
We had said to go to 10% if we could. Last year was 15 and it was capped at 10 this year. Thinking right?
Yep, capped at 10.
Okay.
Can I ask what we expended out of rainy day?
For the whole year.
Is that what that is?
That's a
That's
month.
for the month. Yeah, that's why I'm just curious, I didn't know that we were spending out of rainy day.
They did
That last payment.
Everybody's pointing up. Yeah.
Everybody's going rough. Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at you guys. Okay, I was just, the jail room. That makes sense. When I saw it, I was like.
You know the pun?
It's the rainy day.
Day, remember?
I forgot.
So 1222 statewide 911. That, especially before we did the lit piece up, was one where we had a couple of positions that we could fund out of statewide 911 for communications department. We put 3 in 1 year to kind of drain that balance down. We like to see that right around that balance that it currently has. So that's one to watch. 1235 is your lit piece up. I'll make note of 4609, which is new judicial center lease rental bond.
In 20, I'm sorry,
4609.
46.
I usually don't go through these like this, but with new folks on board, just want to make sure.
No, I think it's fabulous.
we do that.
All right, thank you.
Got it.
We're into the 7, 8, 9,000.
Grant seal. Okay, so
May I add one? I would add the 1236 because that's the one that we know we're gonna be potential to burn in. That's the lit EMS that we talked about a ton yesterday. So it's just one that I will watch. You don't have to. This question.
So then we don't actually move to approve these minutes. We look for a motion to acknowledge that we have these minutes, these financial reports, that we look for a motion to acknowledge that we have reviewed these financial statements.
I'll make a motion that we have reviewed them.
A second.
Lisa, thank you. Any questions on those? All in favor, raise your hand. No? Okay, you got your December meeting minutes. Thank you for that. I did send in a correction to note that Christina wasn't there for the adjustment. Anybody have any comments, questions on those? Ruth is our minutes expert.
I do read that. Yeah, everything was beautiful. So I motion approved.
Ruth? And
Second.
thank you. I would ask that if you weren't here for those, you recuse yourself from the vote.
But if I was via
You can vote.
I can vote, right? You can say, yep.
So, all in favor, raise your right hand. 4.
Try that with the skin of your teeth.
Mhm. That could have been an unusual situation.
It would have been.
Okay, we got to sign the previously approved April 2024 and November 2024 meeting minutes.
So those will just pass. You can sign those. I'll pick up a pile at the end when we're all done. I think it's 2024.
Yes, thanks for all your efforts. We got caught up finally.
And some of you will not have names on here, so.
You can sign for Rich.
So practice it.
Yeah.
These were approved at the last meeting.
Feeling like things are really getting dialed in and caught up. It feels good. Okay, those are coming down. Email correspondence and reports we had this month, October 24 is in your packet on the excise service tax distribution report. Average balances that we see roll in on those were really steady. That's what we expect to see every month on that. You had the November excise wheel tax, surtax wheel distribution worksheet as well. You had the Soil and Water Conservation District Board meeting minutes from November, the agenda for January, board meeting minutes from December. And then I've got a couple things I'll leave you with as we wrap up. Just as far as new mentioned items, but get into our appointments now. And thank you for the worksheet. Cool is that? Stapled to the back of your packet. Good idea. Why didn't we think of that 20 years ago?
Good idea, Leah.
So we have three members, positions that we need to allocate out, as well as any adjustments that we want to make within our own. And so
We're going to start with bills.
I'm going to start with mine. I'm just going to say I'm fine with what I have, but if someone wants to pick up any of the bottom 3, I think I'd like to co-chair EMS from Tony's.
when somebody can have mine, because I can't have it.
Does ARPA even need to be listed anymore? There really should be no need for any meetings. Yeah, right?
Still having meetings?
Well, I think we still
Have some funds.
Oh,
right.
oh, okay.
We just have them
They're
allocated, but I think it's time to give them out.
Okay,
Hanging on to it until it's gone.
Okay.
good. Question? So yeah, that was the only change I had. You wanted to start with, you want to start with bills?
I mean, if I was talking about the people that were here, so I don't care.
If any of you have an interest in or expertise in any of these in particular, as long as it's not a conflict of interest with the business you're involved in or anything like that, and you just really would be interested in serving in that, just speak up. Out of the three people that have exited council, so you got Rick and you got Bill's.
I have a couple.
Okay.
I would like to take leaders from Bill.
Okay with everybody? This is kind of how we do it. We just
Innkeepers. Under Bill Harder, and I was also going to try to take the treasurer from Bill.
Now, I thought I would take the treasurer because I thought the VP position took the treasurer.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense for the president to work hand in hand with the auditor and the commissioners, and I would agree with that statement, like those, the flow of those.
It didn't.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine.
I've never had
I just
them.
picked some.
No, you're absolutely fine.
So Christine's taking that?
Treasurer, yeah.
Don't worry, there's gonna be lots of mine under the oven.
I would like to say out of mine, I would like to get rid of the courts. If anybody wants to be doing else, a different department.
Lisa, you, so you, are you including, leaving community corrections, drug-free Steuben, personal, leaving all that? Just the three on the bottom you're talking about, right?
I will. Actually, I would like to just kind of see what everybody else wants, but I'm not, the ones I want to keep for sure are the aviation. And I also want to co-chair EMS and county park.
Good with that?
Okay, so you do want EMS.
I want EMS co-chair with Dan, county park co-chair.
County park didn't used to be two appointments. That can be a co-chair if two people want to do it or not, either way.
Lisa and I talked that we'd really like to continue to work together if that's okay.
Okay.
On the county park. I was gonna say, go ahead.
So throw a couple out there just because of past, will be to co-chair the sheriff and emergency management. And then the veteran service officer.
So, and my thought process.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry, I got sheriff.
I gotta make
The only
these
reason- I
notes.
was just gonna talk about the sheriff.
Okay, hold on.
I will, I'll be quiet.
Can you repeat those, Eric?
Sheriff and jail.
Sheriff, jail co-chair,
Co-chair.
veteran service officer and emergency management.
Veterans.
What was it? Oh, veterans. Where is veterans? It's over here.
Sheriff. Emergency management, you said right here.
Yep.
With
Where's veterans?
veterans is under Rick.
It's already under Rick.
Can I talk about the sheriff?
Yeah.
So RJ was really great about, I have 911, which I would like to keep. But RJ liked to meet with us together, but that three of us has become not what we're supposed to do. It's supposed to be just two of us. So would it be okay if we had just one sheriff and one 911 or sheriff or co-sheriff or?
But sheriff and jail, you're saying you don't think we need two on that?
Because he has 911 now. And so when he did his meetings for budgetary time, he wanted to meet with all of us, which puts us at that number that Rick keeps reminding we're not supposed to be at. So that was my suggestion, that if that's okay.
Yeah.
So if we did 911/sheriff or I mean, I don't care how you want to list it, but is that okay?
So you do want to
Because I would love
co-chair
to.
jail too?
Yes, I'm absolutely.
So then Eric wouldn't? Or is that still good? Still good?
Yes,
It's
because
just
it was
two of you.
Bill, yeah, it's just two of us, because it was Bill and Tony. And I don't have anything
Okay.
else that we haven't talked about under my own, if anyone is interested in any of that, because I ended up with a lot last year. So if anyone, the Council on Aging, the interagency meeting, WIC, I would like to keep the public defenders, just because there's a lot happening there. But IT or coroner's a great one to learn. He's very knowledgeable. He's a great department head to learn from.
Let's handle up Lisa's courts. It makes sense for one person to take three. Any of the new folks are interested in any of that, or anybody hasn't had them before?
What all does it entail? Well, that's why I want to give it up, because I can't quite get a grasp on being helpful to them. Like, put myself out there, let them know that I was their liaison, contacted them several times. I get crickets. So I think someone else that maybe has more of a feel for it.
And to me, everybody's looking at Christina. I poured water all over myself.
She poured it on the floor yesterday.
What is being a liaison? To me, it's just being there if they have budgetary questions. Sometimes there's no need to talk with them at all.
The only thing that I've even communicated with them outside of an email saying, that I'm available, was the discussion about the old courthouse.
I'll take the courts then.
Okay.
I'll try.
Good.
So I need to pick up somewhere. What did you want to get rid of? You want me to take coroner, Christina?
You
Would that be good?
Yes. I mean, I was just saying I was okay with any of those.
Well, I need to pick up some if I'm getting rid of the coroner.
You could mainly have prosecutors over there too.
Well, if you don't want the corner, can I have the corner?
Yeah, sure. What other one do you want me to take, Christina? Council on
Yeah,
Aging?
take the corner.
That would be great.
Is that a monthly meeting?
Yes.
When do they meet?
They meet she moved it to noon on Thursdays.
The third Thursday.
The third Thursday, the third Thursday of the month, Thursdays at noon. Right? She moved it to noon?
I believe so.
Because it's Vicky, and it has a new president, which I think she'll be great to work with. Yeah, it was great.
Thursday at noon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
COA, Lisa?
Christina, I think you are going to end up with ARPA then because you're vice president, correct?
Yeah. Typically it was president, vice president, and then I think they drew names or something for the third person from council, and then all three of you.
We have three from council?
Yeah.
Christina, do you want me to take WIC?
You can, they're gonna treat you exactly the same as the court.
Crickets? Okay. So that pretty much fills mine, I think. If I keep Northeast Indiana Community Corrections, Drug Free Steuben, Personnel Policy Committee, Aviation, Co-Chair County Park, Council on Aging, and WIC.
The interagency meeting, if they meet the last Wednesday of the month at noon, it is a really, I can keep it, but it's a great way to get plugged in with all the non-for-profits. You learn so much about the community as a whole. Even if I don't keep it, I may show up occasionally. I think it's been a great asset to this community. It's a great way to plug in and to learn. But if somebody else wanted to have it, they could. It was a brand new position when I came on council, so I'm the only one that's ever had it.
I was gonna stay with Christina.
I was just saying with it though.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it again?
I'm okay with somebody else doing, I could
I do
still,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
You might see me occasionally, but I'm not stepping on your toes. I just think it's a great thing.
Well, do you want to go through my list? Like surveyor, I'm happy for it, or does someone else want it?
I'll take the surveyor.
I'm happy with clerk of courts, or if anyone else wants it. Really, nothing is involved there because they are so experienced, yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll keep that. Drainage board to me kind of runs hand in hand with surveyor. Do you agree?
I'll take that.
Happy with health department unless someone is feeling.
Step by line. Your side. Same spot.
Chief health. I have maintenance department, which really has not been much of anything. We do now have a one person rather than a super of all the different buildings, so it's even easier yet.
We need a liaison to that.
They,
They do have their own financing, right? So
yeah, they do.
I mean, that would be technically the reason why.
It's not any different than the IT department or any of those that fall underneath the commissioners.
Yeah.
I'll just keep maintenance. Mental health, we kind of want to keep unless someone's feeling very passionate about it. You have to go through the process to get on the board of the Northeastern Center, which is who we give our yearly money to. I wouldn't mind staying on ARPA, but if someone else wants that, that's fine too, as being the third person. And JDAI, I'm happy keeping that, I'm happy figuring it out, I don't care.
Just for straight up curiosity, what is
Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative. Keeping the young ones out of jails or detention facilities. I'll keep that done.
Got any you want to pick up, Ruth?
I take recorder from Bill Harper's.
Take the assessor from Rex Shipes.
Okay. We good with these?
I would be willing to take the Purdue Extension / Fair Board. Kind of goes hand in hand with the park.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the same. When do they meet, Rick?
Excuse me?
When does the Fair Board meet?
Fair Board usually meets, well, they just met last night, but it is second Monday, I believe.
If you want that, that's fine. If not, I'd be willing to take that if you don't want.
Oh, if you really want it, I was just, I was trying to be helpful.
I'd be glad to take it.
Absolutely.
First Monday.
So Region 3, I'm gonna let Dan explain. Because I have never done it. Will you explain?
I will.
Or do you want to skip that one for now?
Yeah, because that's one of our appointment ones.
Okay.
IT you still have on yours. Did you keep that?
I don't care. It's a new department head with IT.
Very good. Look, you're keeping that? Okay. And then, so that handles yours. Does anybody want Rise Easter Seal, Soil and Water, or Humane Shelter out? Interested there? Good.
Second Tuesday, so Monday, second Monday.
Keep those.
I'll take weights and measures.
Where's that at? It's under Rick. What about, no, would highway be in your wheelhouse? And Chip is
I know Chip.
amazing. Again, great place to learn.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep.
Somebody take emergency management to Bill had. You got that?
That'd probably fall.
I'd be glad to have worked with him.
Right.
So Eric, so
You're taking EMA?
I'll take it, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
what about probation and prosecution?
Prosecutors.
Prosecutors?
Yeah.
Okay, who had that?
Eric takes prosecutor.
Tony did. Oh, well. Probation? Tony spent a lot of time with the department head in probation. I've never been over probation, but I know that he,
I know I missed something.
that department's gonna have a lot of changes coming from my understanding in the future that need to be planned for because they're very close to retirement age.
Right now, your list is pretty light as far as, so some of these, we just received correspondence from, we're there to answer questions, budget time. Whatever, some of them you get very involved in. It's a lot more hands-on. Some are, intense as far as like in EDC, you quickly get recruited into an officer's position, which is more board meetings every month. So some of them, we try to balance out like who has the workload, so it stays pretty even.
Extra time there.
Christina?
Yes.
WIC. It meets the same time as health department does, and if I'm staying on health, I'd be happy to take WIC.
Oh, that's fine. Lisa had taken it.
That's fine. Well, I don't care, whatever works.
I didn't know they met. They never invited me to a meet. I've been up there, introduce myself.
Well, okay, she just comes to health board meeting and report, yeah.
You want to switch that?
So
So what did you guys decide?
Lisa's got WIC.
that was under Ruth.
No,
It was under
me.
Christina.
And went to Lisa earlier.
She's keeps
Probation.
Lisa's.
Lisa's keeping it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Region 3A is an appointment, EDC is an appointment. We have a couple of other appointments that are outside of our liaison assignments. And we have build plan out there yet. Am I missing anything? Northeast Indiana Solid Waste.
Which is another meeting, right?
Who's on treasurer?
I am.
So, yeah, so Northeast and build plan are the other two big ones.
Yeah, bill plan, I was wondering about. Who took probation?
Renee did. Correct, Renee? You took
Yeah, that
probation.
personnel policy committee, Lisa, you stayed on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it was already under Renee. Okay.
I miss crossing it off.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. You said bill
Yes.
plan yet?
No, that is, so the planning commission is, yeah, I mean,
Want to, but I will.
I think that one would be fascinating.
Yeah, that's.
I would love it, but I will.
Are those monthly Monday meetings, right?
Excuse me?
Are those monthly Monday meetings?
They are monthly on a Wednesday at 5:00. It's the first Wednesday of the month,
First Wednesday.
and they may or may not meet, depending on whether there's anything on the agenda.
So who's taking that?
I would love it unless somebody else is in love with it.
And it's just plan. I don't think it's actually build plan.
Just plan.
Yeah.
Forward thinking, you imagine that I'd want to be part of that.
Did we have two people on that at one point?
Yep. Well, they're in an ordinance review and everything right now, so.
I would love it.
Okay.
Still have a building.
So on highway department, we used to have two people.
It's
Right
their
now,
appointment to the plan, not the
Bill's
building.
got it. Is there a second person that has
I
highway?
think
Well, it's different, they're actually.
It hadn't been two since I've been here. If it was beforehand.
It used
had a plan or a building liaison. I don't-
The one's fine. I'm okay with one.
I suppose.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay.
Okay. It's done, produced, done, it went to Bill. Eric, Steuben. How many does Eric have then?
4.
Got veterans, EMA, well, we haven't done Region 3A yet.
Haven't been Region 3A.
Bill took EMA.
So Lisa, you said drug-free Steuben, you want to follow all of that? If someone might take it, I can do drug-free. That'd be awesome.
We've got the solid waste district.
We had that under Lisa. Okay, so we'll take that on. Drug free Steuben. Don't get too rude.
To Ruth.
Yeah. Okay, I think that covers the ones that are up, other than the direct appointments.
And if I
Somebody
may,
take the solid waste district.
Well, that's one we're.
Oh, okay.
Christine has asked, about planning ahead with the plan commission.
Is that what it is?
A little different than that, yeah.
You told me I would love it.
Yes.
I would learn a lot.
You would, yes. But it's planning as far as construction on different lots in different areas and also how they're zoned, the zoning for those areas.
Renee?
Like that. It's not just a plan for the community moving forward.
But it's a way to have a voice in what comes and how we grow.
Ordinances that affect the whole county, yes.
Ordinances that affect the whole community. Sounds like I'll have to be quiet. I'll learn to be 2 years in one mouth.
Excuse me there. Remember what she said in her, like, we're pretty nice.
Okay, so we have the Town of Fremont. Yeah, we have, so we have,
Oh, it's a direct.
these are individual appointments, yeah.
I apologize.
No problem. So the reappointment of Jeff Bauer, is that how you pronounce it?
I am not sure.
Has to be
Baja?
adopted by the.
That's Kane's dad.
Is it?
Who's that?
Someone who works.
So, welcome the motion.
I move to approve Jeff Baja for the reappointment to Fremont Agency.
Thank you.
That was Ruth.
Yep.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, raise your right hand.
And there's nothing to sign on there. We just have to notify them.
Okay.
No, they've never had one.
Okay, so, a little direction on these others. So the Angola EDC one, I think there's a lot of explanation explained there, needed there, but, anybody that wants to, that's an appointment from our council. Anybody that wants to become more involved there.
They're gonna let it be a council member this year. This wasn't there an issue last year.
It just couldn't be me.
That doesn't.
There had always been, I think you had been on it previously, hadn't you? Yeah.
I'll take that.
It's not our job. It's not thankful. Okay. You have a form. That's fine. We'll do this all again with passing.
I go in do a motion or anything.
Yeah, do you want to? I move to approve Eric Crawl for Angola EDC appointment.
I will second it.
All in favor, raise your hand.
You get it.
Done.
Since we have to certify it, we are appointing Eric.
While she's filling that out, so the Steuben County one, there were periods of time where it was a real handful. Locations 2 times in my history, build a new building, sold property, and then obviously all the utilities issues and all that kind of stuff. But the things are all working in the works. There's special task force for the utilities that I was on, and it was very time consuming. Bill Carter had an interest in it. I had been on it forever. And so we gave it to him last year, but obviously he's off now too. So it's one of those ones that I have a lot of experience with. I'm happy to do it, but it's also very interesting for people. And if anybody has an interest in it, wants to do it, fantastic. I still serve on the finance committee.
Do you need a motion for you to get that? To take that?
Bill made a motion
me to be on
to
it?
appoint you.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor, raise your hand. So 7 here.
You need to sign for yourself.
Did you pass the personal note?
Yeah. I don't know if it's my number.
Region 3A is a partnership that we as a county subscribe to with the northeastern corner of Indiana, where they work together on how sometimes it's grant funded projects, just different initiatives to help the northeast corner have a voice in the economic development kind of issues. And it's how many times have we gotten a benefit out of being a partner, if you ask me? It's kind of like the Northeast Indiana partnership and the regional partnership that we did. I don't know that we're seeing all that benefit, but as long as the commissioners subscribe to it, one of us needs to serve on it. It's a quarterly meeting down in Columbia City. If you haven't served on it before,
I guess
I'm not gonna do it again. At least I know it once. So once you do it.
You get to ride with me, so.
Yeah.
Maybe down, well, in that case.
Yeah, there you go. There's a big sale.
All right. That's the one.
Quality time with the county commission. Windshield time.
Somebody want to weigh in?
I make a motion.
Make it a golf and a meeting
That
trip.
Eric
right?
Kroll be our Region 3A appointee.
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
It's not just me.
So Northeast Indiana Solid Waste District, and there's a new director out there, I think a new accountant. Randy Tilbury was presenting to us.
Doug Stuckey.
Budget out there, yep, and then Doug Stuckey is the new.
Who was?
Doug Stuckey is the new director.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who the new accountant is.
You're listening to I got it.
And they do a good job. It's not their board, but actually. Make sure
Does
they.
anybody know when they meet? Bill was on it before.
Well, do you know when the solid waste district meets?
Oh, gosh, no. I
It's
don't.
every other month.
Oh, thank you.
Solid waste districts every other month?
Yeah, they do every other month.
That is, yeah, executive board meets every month.
And I want to say they're on a Thursday.
Thursday, I believe, yes.
In the evening?
Yes.
That pretty much takes me out of it.
So their last one, they would have had one on the 9th, the last week, so the next one will be in March, and I think it's the second week. Second Thursday.
One bill to another bill?
I nominate Bill McClanahan.
I will second. No.
Go ahead.
Let's get him on that.
Sounds like a voluntold.
Who's taking second?
I'm pulling a Christine here.
That's a longtime old friend of mine, so everybody raise your hand. I didn't hear who made those.
You made it.
And Christine second.
And I,
Yeah.
and you got second.
Hey, do you want to start at the top and make sure we have every department assigned?
Yeah, in a minute.
Community corrections, who's got that?
I still have that.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm on the community correction board too.
Are you?
Yeah, if you want somebody to take that.
You're on their board? That would make a
I
lot of
would
sense.
love it if you would take that.
You're already at the meetings. Okay.
Oh, you got it. Goody.
Yeah.
Lisa's throws.
Yes.
So I think they're all divvied out.
According to my list, they are.
So you want to go through them together, just make sure we all have it right?
Okay, I'll call them up when you're ready. Can we get a?
Thank you.
Can we get a sheet? There's a lot of scratches on this one.
Yeah, that's one. I have my
Sure.
own copy. I was gonna say, oh, yeah. I could say I didn't make a.
Lovely.
This is Eric.
You tell me.
Region 3A was Eric, right?
You want to pass these down?
That was Eric.
I can fill in the rest of it, I just need your signature. Did that one and that one. I think we had one for solid waste.
Okay, we got Steuben County Economic Development Corporation here. I'll sign up. These are extra copies.
Yeah, this is your packet. I have the original.
So any you need signed then? Yeah.
I don't think so. Fremont didn't have one. Here's Angola got passed around, I think. Here's this
EDCs.
one and then Region 3A.
And solid waste didn't have one?
No. I do not see one. Let me double check. I don't think it did. No. They're up here, so I have it underneath the.
Okay, if we don't find that. All right, so we'll start at the top here. Ruth. We have you down as clerk of courts, health, maintenance, mental health, ARPA, JDAI, recorder, drug-free Steuben. Does that match up with your?
Yes.
Okay. Lisa, we have you down as aviation, EMS co, county park co, council on aging, WIC, personnel policy.
Yep.
Christina, treasurer, county co-chair, county park co-chair, 911, sheriff jail co-chair, public defenders, ARPA, IT plan. Renee, innkeepers, the 3 courts, coroner, assessor, weights and measures, probation. All right? Okay. I'm down as auditors, commissioners, ARPA, EMS co-chair, EDC, Rise Easter Seals, Soil and Water, Humane Shelter. Eric, sheriff jail co-chair, veteran services, interagency nonprofits, prosecutors, Angola EDC, Region 3A.
Yep.
Bill, surveyor, drainage board, Purdue Extension Fair Board, highway, EMA, Northeast Indiana Solid Waste, Northeast Indiana Community Corrections. Yep. Okay.
Awesome.
Good job, everybody.
That was nice.
Our bigger departments there, if you're hosting a meeting with the sheriff or with the highway department or large budget departments. Loop me in if I can make them. Spend a little extra time with those two. Well, okay. Awesome. Back to the agenda. AIC. Last day to sign up for the discounted rate. Raise your hand if you're attending. AIC legislative session.
I'm sorry.
Bill, you going? Okay.
So we have Lisa
Lisa, Eric, Dan.
and David.
Now I can't go this year, but blame my husband. I'm sad.
I have a scheduled meeting with Ben Smaltz and then Sue, and Tony. Waiting to hear back from the governor's secretary, Trey. We'll pay attention to Ryan Hoff and the legislative updates.
That's gonna be a big one.
Rick is our,
AIC, I'm on the AIC board for the Northeast District. There's two bills right now that I don't know if everybody's aware of. Senate Bill 433 and House Bill 10. Excuse me.
Can you give the numbers
we
again?
just got that email today.
Yeah, Senate Bill 433, which is for our VSOs, Veteran Service Officers. Hamilton County had an issue with theirs, and they are now introduced legislation to take control of the VSOs, but yet leave funding to the counties. So they're trying to take that actual oversight away from the counties and put it in the state level. And also Senate Bill, all right, I gotta look it up here.
Trying to find it.
Is it one AIC thinks will actually go beyond? Because I know that in the legislative,
1402.
it talked a lot about, I mean, there's a ton of bills filed, but Brian kind of told us what he thought would move.
Actually, it's House Bill 1233. You're gonna want to pay attention to both those.
70 pages long.
I emailed Rick Green this morning about those, and he was not aware of them. They've not hit his radar yet, so
We have a meeting set on Friday.
you might cue all them in on what this is, and it's basically just takes your email to be included in that, and you get instructions.
So the ICCA, did I say that acronym correct? Indiana County Council Association.
Yep.
The ICCA, they have a legislative committee that meets it starts right before session. And once bills are being filed, we meet every other Friday via Zoom. And Ryan Hoff, who is
The AIC's
attorney,
legal counsel
he's there, right? And they're like.
at the State House every day.
Lobbyist.
Yep.
He's on those calls, which is fabulous because then you have somebody who actually can explain what the bill may do to you. And all they focus on is bills that are filed at the state level that will affect counties' government. So we meet and talk. I can send you the minutes from the last meeting because I'm their secretary now. But it's a great way to understand what the state is trying to do to us.
Yeah.
If you're interested, let me know and I will send your email in to Rick to get you at least onto that, to get invited and to get the emails so that you can see, they put together a list. But like the last meeting we had, Ryan was like, this one isn't going to probably go anywhere because of, it's just interesting to learn and to hear. And then I take the opportunity at the end to ask questions about how they do things in their county if I have questions about how we do things here. So it's just a chance to meet other council members. I know. They like to poke fun at me on that too.
Dan, can I put one plug in for the AI Association of Indiana Counties? All 92 counties are a member of that. And as the ICCA, the Indiana County Council Association, each of you are part of that. There is a state called meeting every year. It is supposedly a mandatory meeting. It's usually in June. It's usually not good for some of our council members. I've attended most of them, not all of them. They're usually, depending on who's the county council association president, it usually kind of depends on what part of the state it goes to. It's been in Shelbyville. The last several's been around Indianapolis. It's usually on a Friday night, Saturday. Very good informational meeting for county council only. So that is a state called meeting. There's a Northeast District meeting that happens usually in Columbia City. All those are good places to talk with other council people around the state, around our area, and confer with and see what's actually going on. Could always get a lot of good information and problem solving out of those events.
I highly recommend them too. I've went since I've been elected. You learn so much.
It is incredible. And it's one of those things you feel like you really came back and made a difference. But, you know, especially talking to the legislators during the session, working with the AIC, we do have a voice that gets heard. We just have to clearly communicate why we need what we need.
And if you're going down for the AIC conference, I sent it to Lisa. AIC is holding a class about internal controls that I've debated, we're not leaving till the next day. I've debated just driving to Indianapolis down and back just for the class on the 4th.
I'm going to that class.
Yeah, I think it'll be an amazing class.
You have to sign up separately for that. So
Yes,
if
you have to
somebody
tell
is
them.
going, you have to let us know. You have to be signed up ahead of time for that.
Sign me up, please.
And county council is the largest voice in the state if we all get together. Because there's at least 7 people in each county for 92 counties. So your voice could be huge as long as they all get together.
Usually comment, there's a lot of us from Steuben County down there. Compared to other counties.
Peace.
Christina, you mentioned the class.
But don't sign me up for it.
Okay.
Don't sign me up for it. I would have to drive down and back in the same day just for it. I just haven't figured out if I can do that with work.
So for AIC, I have Lisa, Dan, and Eric, and I'm going to add Eric to the AIC class. Okay.
Thank you.
Watch their emails because they hold classes. I followed Kelly the
And
one.
we'll send out, as I get notifications and stuff, we'll send out notifications to you guys via email if something's coming up, or I'll try to remind you guys in a meeting.
They're a great source.
Does anybody have anything else to come before the council?
I have one other thing before, when we're done.
We're done?
Yeah, well, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You guys all signed the conflict of interest statements, got those turned in. However, when we were uploading them, Leah printed off, you could go to a spot and print it off. There is a new form. On the new form, it actually states that we have to fill out that conflict of interest form for every single transaction that may take place. So I'm going to use Bill and Christina as an example. Every time Bill's towing would work on a vehicle or do something, got to fill out the conflict of interest. Every time you bill us for EMS, got to fill out the conflict of interest statement every single time.
So will you give me that form?
Yes, we will get it out, but I wanted you guys to be aware it's different. It's a brand new form. I didn't even go on there and look prior. I just printed off the one that we had and
Are we
it's
gonna
been changed.
here to sign that form?
We'll work it out so that we can email it to you.
You can email it to us. We can-
Every single time.
For county, for the JDs then too. right? When I send that to you, Ann? The collections from the court. We do
Yep.
collection, I mean, we've been doing those a lot longer.
Yep. And aviation.
Oh, but I don't go to aviation, so I still have to do it?
Well, but it lists, you would have to list, isn't your husband the attorney there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I need to send it every time he goes to a meeting?
you'll have to, yes, because he would be listed under your form.
Good thing
That's
it's a
what I'm
quick
Is he getting
signature.
paid?
That's what I'm asking.
Is he getting paid?
Oh, when we invoice
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Okay. Jeez, okay.
So does he get paid to go to those?
He does get paid to go to those, so that we'd submit a monthly billing to. I don't submit it to you directly anymore. I have to do it through Aaron, but yes.
I was trying to think, I don't think there was anybody else that it would affect. And I don't think there was anybody on commissioners that it was gonna affect, like it was those two. So that's gonna be awful.
That is so wasteful.
That's a lot of
Paid
paper.
for,
Huh?
That's gonna be a lot.
From state.
from the state.
All this paperwork you do.
Mhm. So
At least my stuff's monthly.
I will contact them to see if there is any type of workaround or if we can do it monthly or something. I will try and find out.
Is it just something I sign to say that it happened, or do I have to attach an exhibit? Do I?
There's, yes. We'll get you a copy of the form so you can see it.
Is that gonna be more you than Ann? I'm sorry, I looked at Ann because Ann is who I deal with those
It's gonna be Leah.
It'll be Leah?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Ann.
Okay, anything else to come before council?
I was gonna mention, Leah emailed out this Homeland Security training. Indiana Public Safety is registering. It's called Senior Officials Workshop for All Hazard Preparedness.
It's from Lee.
It came from you?
We might have forwarded it, but it came from Lee.
Okay, it came from, it's March 27th. I'm planning on going. So if anyone wants to ride with me, we can carpool over there or whatever. It's in Columbia City.
In Columbia City on the 27th?
27th. It's a Thursday of March.
It's during the day, isn't it?
Yes. It's 9 to 4.
What's the date again?
March 27th.
Steve, you may get a hold of you for that.
If they want to sign up, let me know a name and I can get them signed up. They would only really need to sign up through the Training Institute. That's where the numbers need to be to make sure that the class is a go. And that's the one that, last fall, both Councilman Scheib and Councilman Harder were able to attend at Ashland. So it's a good class.
Good meeting.
I offered to go again. It'll be my third time taking it, but I will go again. And I believe I was informed yesterday that Mayor Martin will be attending that class as well, from Angola.
Thank you. To adjourn?
No, please. I have one other thing.
That was an arm up.
I was waiting,
Sorry.
trying to be patient because that is not my virtue. I know that we talked about the assistant EMS director yesterday. But when I went home and looked closer at it, with the stipend that can happen to paramedics, we have allowed a situation where we're gonna let a paramedic make more than our EMS assistant director. That did not sit well. I didn't sleep well. So I would like to talk about the assistant director again. And that position.
That's your call.
Gonna have to be something that we put on another agenda. Take up
Okay, so how do I?
in agenda, you know. I don't think we have time for a whole other EMS discussion right now today. With the meetings we have. I don't mind revisiting it But I just think it needs to be as on the agenda. Discuss wage again.
Then, so, okay.
Sorry, yeah, I think it was an inadvertent thing, but I think we can handle it. Yeah,
So we'll see it on our agenda in February?
certainly do that.
I agree. I think it needs addressed as well.
Okay. Is that the agenda? Okay. Excellent. Anything else?
Can I just ask a question? The piece of paper about the wages, the things that happened during the December meeting that was in my box, you guys voted on those last? It had to do with EMA, county park, and obviously the surveyor. Those were all handled the last time. I thought that was information that was gonna be on today's stuff that we were gonna talk about today, but you voted on them in December. Correct. Okay.
We just put copies of that stuff in your box so that you had it.
You did. I just misunderstood. That's my own fault.
Yeah, I didn't, think I didn't need to push them off. We got them. Yeah.
I watched a big hunk of the meeting, but it too went on.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
I won't be here for the February meeting, though, so.
Okay. Oh, nice resource. We got, thanks to the commissioners, we got this room ready ahead of time to get used to it and work out any bugs and what have you. So, yep, glad we're doing it.
Anybody else gonna be gone in February?
That's what I'm aware of.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of people are utilizing this. They weren't able to catch meetings before, so that's good.
Just remember, there's only a certain percentage of you that can do that at one time. You can't all zoom in from Florida.
No.
No worries.
You want to call my wife and tell her
There's a limit on how many
that?
times you do it? What is that limit?
And I have to look it up. Yeah.
Hey, you just gotta put your
First, twice a year, I think, 2 or 3 times.
And I don't think you can correct that either.
You guys remember?
What's that?
The restrictions on that, was it, you can only do that 2 or 3 times a year, and were there any back-to-back? There was some other
Yeah.
language in there, I don't remember what it is.
I don't know what the exact language was on that.
that House bill is actually being reviewed.
Is it for that?
It's up for, it's not, I don't think it legislative is being reviewed. There is actually, we got an email on that. They're reviewing or an update on it or something. Make sure everybody's compliant.
Oh, for compliance, but I don't know if they changed the.
We're not changing it. No.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's ready for July. Take effect mandatorily.
With that, I have a question. Are we supposed to be putting our documents up on the screen?
That was the question I was gonna ask.
Because
Yeah, you brought that up.
my husband happened to help me carry in the Christmas gifts this morning, and he was talking about for the aviation board that his understanding of the reading is that everything has to be shown. It's not just us being streamed, that it has to be shown.
Well, and we're set to do that, so it can be done. Just look and see if that is the actual part of it.
It was just, I left you with him with that conversation.
Yeah.
But
I gotta ask another question regarding that zooming in. We had a situation for one of the aviation meetings where Jim Getz was supposed to be zooming in, and then he had bad internet connection where he was, so he just put who's the, I can't think of the guy's name, anyway, one of the board members put him on speakerphone, and they allowed him to vote, and I didn't feel like that was supposed to
You have to
happen.
be seen and heard.
That's what I thought, so.
Yeah, so once you pull that up,
Yeah, that's.
you're gonna take that to.
Yes.
Are you still on it?
Yes.
Sounds right.
67.
I'll pull all the Indiana codes for you guys for
We
the,
just got an email.
for the, remote and for.
Email all.
Okay. Clearly, so it's that way. There you can see, Jonathan says that you attach it.
Upload it.
He said you had to, you have to show it during the meeting and you had to link it to it.
Okay.
So that if anybody wanted to go,
I can see
they could do
uploading
it
to that.
and see it.
Sticking a piece of paper from this.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Is that what you want?
Yep, thank you.
That was something to do with that.
I don't want to send.
That was fire districts.
Yeah, I read that. It is adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to talk to you.
Satisfied.